Joe Budden ain't feeling nothing from Drake after Scorpion.
I'm a Drake guy. That's my guy.
I'm a Drake guy. I mean, he's not my guy.
Yeah,
but
yeah. No,
Are you a Drake guy?
Yeah, I love him.
Really?
The music. I mean, how can you not?
At one point, you really did. And then it seemed like you kind of like simmered on him a little bit.
I think that what goes up has to come down. That's not a Drake thing.
Like we were talking about before with Trav.
Exactly. Just period. What goes
Evolutionary chaos.
Back to this fucking guy over here. Yeah, so I think he was just on such a streak that at some point it had to come down.
And that for you was Views?
No.
What was it?
Views was good. Views was good.
It was after Views.
Yeah, I went on a Views rant, but Views was good. We're talking about after maybe Scorpion? Yeah. After Scorpion.
And
quality of music. We're not talking about streams or success. Hearing somebody that did everything he did from So Far Gone up into that point, and then listening to everything that came after that, just didn't sound like the same person to me.
What's up, world? Your boy Charles Brown back again, talking facts. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe, and notification bell. Keep sending those cash apps to CLBMG. Join that membership. And all you buying that merch down below. Gang, listen. So there's been a lot of discussion about Drake music being kind of co-opted after a certain point in his career. And I do say that there were better songs. I'm just going to be honest. Back in the day, quite a few years ago, I would say even before Scorpion, it kind of took a dive, but that's just me. But end of the day, Joe Budden not feeling anything he says after Scorpion. A lot of people like academics are questioning if 40 is doing more or less. It feels like he's not involved at all right now. They were really scrounging and scraping, trying to figure out what songs, if any, he's done lately in the last year. They don't know if he's either sick or he's just taking a break or what have you, or Drake is experimenting with other producers. I don't know for sure, but it does sound like, and it seemed like some of the structure of the beats is not as solid as they used to be. I don't know if it's just they were just making better music a couple years ago as a whole, the whole industry, or what. But Joe Budden, and I'm going to be honest, I've been rethinking. I really have an issue with Joe Budden, but I'm like, you know what, in 2026, I'm gonna let everybody be who they are, and we're gonna see how they go forward, okay? I'm just gonna be like, you know what? I'm gonna see what happens with Joe Budden podcast, because I really be holding a lot of grudges against people in a way, to a degree, when it comes to shit they've done over the years. And I seen Joe Budden do a lot of bullshit. I told you I used to do a lot of promotions, and I did promotions with Joe Budden and Slaughterhouse, this, that, and the third, and they got real messy. And every time I dealt with them, I'm just gonna be honest, it got worse and worse and worse, to the point where I was like, I don't want to deal with these people no more. It's not just Joe, it was his whole, whoever was managing him at the time. And I dealt with Royce, I dealt with Crooked Eye and Joel Ortiz as a unit, and they all had separate managers at the time. And I just felt like Joe Budden at the time, and I know this was a while ago. Back when the Slaughterhouse had just really got together. They was about to drop their second album, and they were about to go to Eminem. And this was right before they went to Eminem, so that was a while ago. But I had a couple, it rubbed me the wrong way. Let's just be honest. And not just that, Joe Budden had a couple, like a lot of things in the media and a lot of things even to the point, me and wifey sit there watching Love and Hip Hop. And it's like, we really did that to Tahiri? It was like a lot of shit, gang. I'm just going to be honest. Over the years, Budden has just rubbed me the wrong way. But in 2026, man, I'm going to clean some slates, and I'm going to go ahead and give Joe Budden a chance. And what I'm doing right now is I'm going to report this story without any type of shade to Joe Budden. I'm going to keep this 100% professional. No shade or nothing to Joe Budden, all right? So let me talk about this. Joe Budden argues Drake's quality of music fell off after Scorpion, by Cole Blake on hotnewhiphop.com. Joe Budden has had a rocky relationship with Drake over the years. See, Joe Budden and Drake had a rocky relationship. Sometimes, man, it's just things that are what they are, gang. I'm gonna be honest. I have a video on my other channel, which I'm bringing back that channel, right? My other channel where I do music reviews, this, that, and the third, and I dialogue and I break down the entire experience with Slaughterhouse. So if you care about that story, it's on my other channel. I might drop the link in here, but I do a whole story of what happened with Joe Budden and Slaughterhouse. And that's one of the reasons I feel a little way about this. But apparently Drake and Joe Budden have their own issues as well. As we all can see, Joe Budden dropped 4 diss records on Drake. So Joe Budden talking on Drake, you got to take it with a grain of salt, because whatever he's saying come from a place of low-key hate and anger, right? And he still got resentment built up about how his relationship with Drake panned out. But here he goes, quote, "I'm a Drake guy. That's my guy," Paul said, asking Budden for his opinion on the Toronto rapper. "I think that what goes up has to come down." Did I read this part already? Joe Budden has a rocky relationship with Drake for years, as he's been highly critical of his work. Budden expanded on his opinion of Drake's most recent albums during an appearance on Logan Paul's Impulsive podcast. In doing so, Budden said that he was a fan of Drake's earlier music, but at some point the quality took a nosedive. Quote, "I'm a Drake guy. That's my guy," Paul said, asking Budden for his opinion on the Toronto rapper. "I think that what goes up has to come down," Budden began. "That's not a Drake thing. I think he was just on such a streak that at some point it had to come down." From there, he argued that the decline began after Scorpion. Quote, "The quality of music," he clarified, "we're not talking about streams or success. Hearing somebody that did everything he did from So Far Gone up to that point and then listening to everything that came after that just don't sound like the same person to me." Well, I feel like, for one, we're not talking about streams of success, because that seems to cloud and clutter any conversation these days. You can't have a conversation with a lot of people these days because they want to go back to, well, did it stream? Was it successful? Was he number one? So it's not. It doesn't even matter when we're talking about quality. You can't even have an honest conversation with these people, these Drake fans or people of that ilk, who only think about numbers and their numbers based, because they don't care. Like these labels right now, the only people should be really caring about the numbers is labels, but we can't get that through these people's heads. They want to feel like if their guy isn't streaming or he is streaming, that's all that matters, and you can't get past that conversation. But let's talk about the quality. And what he's saying is, I'm going to be honest, so I listened to, up until right now, I honestly used to put on every Drake album. And less would I listen to it. It got to a point around, I want to say Scorpion, and maybe the one right before that, probably 2 before, but it got to a point where they weren't enjoyable. As far as I'm saying, I'm not going to say they trash it, that a third. I just would listen to them. It would be so few and far between that as a hip hop head, I had to go and go 5 or 6 tracks to get to the next track. That's not enjoyable to me. So a lot of people learn in the music industry. Let's just be honest. A lot of you guys started to learn to only worry about the songs that you like. You only worried about the singles. You stopped looking at whole projects. It became to a point where people started just releasing singles because they trained you guys to just worry about one song at a time. Me, I'm from an era where we liked whole projects. We like your thing to be a cohesive work of art. We don't want all these songs all over the place. Then it got really wonky when you guys started to go in on day one, you play the whole album, and then you could click and add songs to a playlist. Therefore, you don't have to hear the shit no more. I am not that guy, gang. I don't want to do that, and I know people do that all the time, and I get it. It's normal. I'm not that guy that's going to go through. You give me an 18-song track, you give me an 18-track album, I'm going to go through and click star or whatever it is you got to click, and the other ones you can delete. They really make it so you can delete the songs you don't like. So I can go and play that album and it will not play the songs I don't like. I'm not like that. I don't want to hear your album. If I'm only getting 3 songs off of it, I don't want to click the album at all. I'm sorry. So it got to a point with me and Drake where I would go on. This is well before the battle, gang. I'm talking years ago. This might be 9 years ago. I don't know. But I would go in, play the joint once. I'd be like, that joint all right, This is before the Meek Mill battle, gang. This ain't nothing. This is not no fucking shit I just started doing. I would go play it, and I started to realize it's not a lot of stuff on here I want to hear. This is way back. Right? And I would play it. I would know, okay, that album got the joint with Jay, right? That light it up, this, then, third. So I like that song, so I'll play that song here and there. But for the most part, I'm not going back to that album. So I'm just that guy. So it got to the point where now I can barely get. First of all, I didn't even listen to some Sexy Songs for You. I heard some guy that did a reaction, I think it might have been Screwface or somebody. So I listened to the shit as he did. So that's how I heard some of the songs. I think No Life Shaq did it. So I listened to it through his speakers. So I never really played it. So I can't say I kind of heard it, kind of didn't. But end of the day, I don't need to hear whole songs to know that I'm not going to listen to that. So end of the day, before that, with the Scorpion was the one that I listened to that. And I was like, it's so few joints on here that I really would play. It's some joints on here, don't get me effed up. It's a couple joints, right? But it's not enough to make me play this. I wanted to go back to, I'm a hip hop head, gang. I wanna like shit, right? I wanna hear shit that's gonna be motivating and this, that, and third. But then all these issues about who wrote it. And this, that, they start becoming, I don't want to sit and listen to an album where a guy talking all this shit, but he not writing it. I don't want to hear that. I'm sorry. Yeah, Beyonce can do that and all that. I can listen to somebody else do that. I can't listen to a rapper talking heavy shit outside of Dr. Dre and when the last Dr. Dre since the Chronic, right? I can't listen to a rapper talking heavy shit that's not writing it. I just can't. So it took me out of it. So from that Scorpion one, that was one of the first ones I learned. I'm giving Drake one spin. That's it. I'm sorry. So for the culture, I give him one spin, right? The herd laws, for all the dogs, one spin. The honestly never mind, me and wife was driving somewhere, one spin. I barely got through. That's like this shit. This some cut up, right? Marcus said, can you get some cut up? That shit's some cut up, gang. I'm just going to be honest. So at the end of the day, I'm like this with Joe. I understand when he's talking about Scorpion. Joe saying Scorpion was good. I'm saying it was too many, to me, it was just too many misses on there for me to go back to it, right? Let me continue. That was a little rant on my end, but let me continue. He says, the group also gave credit to Drake for being multi-dimensional. Budden specifically praised his work on Saturday Night Live as well as the ESPYs. Elsewhere during the interview, Paul revealed that he thinks Travis Scott chickened out of working with the WWE. It's far from the first time Joe Budden has been critical of Drake's recent output. The negative opinions have led to him exchanging shots with Drake on social media on various occasions over the years. He's been taking shots at Drake for years. And Drake has responded. I remember one time Drake made this long post about you're a failed rapper, your career didn't work. He just was all his feelings hurt, just mad, hurt, didn't want to talk. Deep down, I wanted you and your mommy both to walk. Some of you guys gonna get that reference. Some of you gonna get it. It's K-Solo. All right, let me continue. Back in 2023, Drake eviscerated Budden in response to his criticism of For All the Dogs. The podcast host had argued that Drake was rapping for the kids, and he was. Quote, Joe Budden, you have failed that music. Drake begun his lengthy message. You left it behind to do what you're doing in this clip because this is what actually pays your bills. That's a fact. He gets paid a lot of money for the podcasting. And we all know that Joe Budden left music for podcasting. For any artist watching this, just remember you are watching a failure give their opinion on his idea of a recipe for success. A quitter gave their opinion on how to achieve longevity. Yeah, Drake was hurting, gang, and I get it. You get emotional, but I don't know about putting a whole post up against a podcaster. You wouldn't respond to him on Wax when he did them 4 diss records, but you respond to him online on an Instagram post. It's kind of weird, gang, and that's not how rappers handle business. And that's what I mean. It's like stuff like that made me give these albums one spin and not go back because I'm listening and I'm not going to, like some people listen to it trying to find the hard shit or find the good shit, and they want to trust and believe. I can't trust and believe a guy who never respond to diss records, like act like he never heard them, right? And give you 1 or 2 bars on Stay Scheming and then act like you're just down the throat, whatever he's doing, right? And then he'll go and write a long ass post because you criticize them 2 years later. It's weird, gang. And I'm just like, bro, you're not fighting this right. You're not fighting this hip hop thing right. So I can't take you serious. I can't take him serious. A lot of people be like, Charles, you biased, this and that and third. It's not bias. Bias mean that I just have something against this nigga. I've been trying to get this motherfucker a chance for years, gang. Like I against my better judgment, and he still got records. He got good songs, this and that. Third. I tell you all the time, he got some records, gang. I've been saying that through the whole course of the battle. He got some records, but at the end of the day, when we peel back the layers and I'm trying to figure out who you are as a person, it ain't coming off well, gang. It's like it ain't looking too good. It's like, yo, like you're like you want to be respected in this shit, then you lose a battle, do a lawsuit, right? You want to be respected in this shit. Joe Budden dish you 4 times, you don't say nothing, you don't make a record, nothing. I don't even think he responded to comment when comment dissed him. It's like you're picking and choosing. Oh, you want to battle Meek Mill, right? Then you want to battle Pusha T because Pusha T keep coming at Wayne of all people. You only battle Pusha T because he kept dissing Wayne. Wasn't even dissing you. You jumped in it for Wayne won't have to. Wayne ain't never once carried out a battle in his life. He's never once stepped up and did that. But he gets all his respect as an MC. So let's just keep it a buck. So at the end of the day, Drake wants to play this rapper, but he wants to go on Instagram and do it that way, right? And at the end of the day, we just saw Fabulous get out there and rap, right? 50 Cent was talking shit online. Fabulous went out there and just busting bars. That's what you supposed to do, man. End of the day, I'm going to say this. Joe Budden got a point, but Budden be hating anyway. End of the day, I want to say this. I think the quality has gone down, but I think it's because he's scrambling so much to keep them streaming numbers up. He's doing all these experimental things because whatever the next thing is, that's what his thing is going to be tomorrow. So it's Afro beats, it's this down the third, acid jazz, whatever's popping, he's going to do it. And that's where you're getting. I don't think he's steeped and got cement feet in anything. I think if hip hop fades out today, Drake will leave hip hop alone. So I don't think he cares. That's why he's streaming now and doesn't care really about making no hip hop. End of the day, I feel like Joe Budden has a point because once Scorpion dropped and everything after that, it was such a paper chase and it was so unfocused. It's like, I'll do anything that's going to make these girls want to stream me and make these people outside of my lane stream me, this, that, and the third. And I feel like that's all that matters. And when only thing that matters is the appearance of success, that you're doing all these numbers with streaming, I think that's where you get this unfocused, rushed music to a degree. And he had that big ass deal, the alleged $400 million deal that he supposedly paid back in a couple, you know what I'm saying? So he paid it back, Challz. You don't know what you're talking about. He been paid that $400 million back. They want to throw that in your face, but guess what? It take a lot of work to pay back $400 million, gang. That's real. That's serious. If he paid it back or not. And there's a lot of interest on that and a lot of stipulations that he probably haven't met yet, which is why he did the lawsuit in the first place, trying to get out of it. So end of the day, man, I feel like Joe Budden has a right, even though he got a lot of it's some hidden hate in there, right? But at the end of the day, and he feel away because he called him a fade, this, down the third. But he has a point. Drake's stuff the quality has gone down, and we've seen a man chase a bag so much that the bag running from him at this point. And it's like it's not even about the bag no more. Right? Drake right now, Drake not doing shit for money no more. Drake has a lot of money. Drake right now wants me and you to say Drake is the best. That's what he's chasing. He's not going to get that because he's not putting in the work to be the best. He's putting in the work to look like he get the most streams. That's not what they're not understanding. That don't make you the best. And I'm going to leave it at that, man. End of the day, CLBMG, head on over to black-yeti.com. Let them know who sent you. They ship all over the continental U.S. Also, every Wednesday night, we go live, me, TJ, and Flays on The What Show. We be talking about all kind of topics like this, 9:15 on all my social media platforms. And we got a project called The What Project. We have a song on there called This, That, and a music video. Go back in my videos, tap in, watch that video. Let me know what you think in the comments. All right, I'm going to catch y'all on that flip side. I'm out. Peace.
Look, mission impossible to drop a few lines without dropping old times when Southern Hill was still a gold mine. When pistol grips was my shit and I sold mine. When Alias was not a show and they told mine. Elevate your mind with high quality THC infused products. BlackYeti.com. Black-Yeti.com.
CLB.
Get my coat, get my sheepskin, grab my wallet, get my pocket knife, and get that hat right there, we out. Grab my pocket knife too, let's go. When I first came to the city, niggas didn't believe me. I just wanted to join a team and throw assist pass easily. 6 man off the bench, alley-oop pass freely. Suit up for one game and hope a scout might see me. But nah, niggas is greedy, wasn't rocking with him. Unplugged the scoreboard, put a lock on the gym. Told me to power forward, point guard at the rim. And left me with no center and a ball full of phlegm. Not knowing that I'm a dog, a Rottweiler within, with the heart of a pit bull that don't bark for pretend. My bites cut deep, break the bone and the skin. With the level of hustlenomics you do not comprehend. So first I took a block down on the west side end, and then secured a spot with some goons and some kin, and then sent out some flyers, let the games begin. And in 6 months time the city like that's him. Oh yeah, he the one that moved the hustle to the burbs. And yeah, he the one that knocked the hustlers off the curb. And yeah, he the one that set up shop without a word. And he the one that got it cracking, and all he did was rapping by the Hooters. I kept killers from being shooters. Put a mic in a thug's hand, now he loyal like Pats fans. Take a man off the streets past the needles and crack cans. Promise mama to keep him safe, then put some food in his face, and he'll kill for you. But I don't need him for that. Click like, click share, tell them bitches we back. Share the whole location, tell them niggas where we at. Cause we out here, and we ain't the cheese, we the trap.